It's not my business.
Like 100 years ago.
It's not my business anyways, right? But I do like the thought that they were like super angry and they're planning on like killing the dog at some point because they were just.
Now they could make a movie about the making of Wizard of Oz.
Could you imagine? You look at Ronald in the corner and he's holding Toto and he's like.
It'd be so funny if they did like an actual movie on that, but they still paint the dogs more than.
dude, it's a horror movie, right? And it's Terry the dog running away from like 70 little people with knives. And
So Snow White.
dude, they're trying to find him. That's insane, man. Oh.
And now time for The Viewing Room with Adam and Ethan.
Welcome to the viewing room where we talk about film.
I'm a scat man.
Just when I think we've graduated from that.
See, I was playing the long game with that one. I just had to wait and make you think I was done. Had forgotten about it. And then I hit you with it. Hit you with the scat man.
We're talking about films new and old, local and global today, in the form of The Accountant 2.
Yes.
Oh, with Ben Affleck, John Bernthal,
Yes.
brothers Brax and Chris. Is that
Braxton and Chris.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're here. It's been out for about 3 weeks, time of this recording, and I've never seen the first one.
Yeah, it's a travesty.
But I saw it in theaters last night, like the second one, and I gotta say, I haven't laughed that hard in a movie in a long, long time.
This funny.
This one tickled something in me.
Mhm.
It was a good movie to watch. I had a
Mhm.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's always great when you go to the theater and you spend your bucks, and you feel like you want to spend more bucks at the theater, and that's always a good thing, especially when you're rolling the dice. And I mean, Adam got my ticket for me, but
Yeah.
like, but, like,
As I
it's
said,
so
though,
good.
I would have far rather bought tickets for this than Thunderbolts. So,
Okay, I'll say this is a better movie than Thunderbolts.
Thank
I'll say, I'll be honest, this is a better movie than Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts wasn't bad though.
it was pretty bad.
All
We
right.
don't need to get back into
Yeah,
that.
yeah, this
If you
is
want to
The
hear us
Accountant
argue
2.
about that, go to the last episode.
Actually,
This is episode 40. I just realized.
oh, look at
Episode
that.
40. We're 40
Wow.
episodes in.
40 episodes in.
We're
And I
almost. That's almost a
s-
year now, actually. 52 will be a year.
Very perceptive.
Yeah.
I think actually we missed 1 week though, didn't we? At the very start.
And we
So-
missed Christmas.
Oh, so like,
And we missed 1 week with Thunderbolts.
so
So 49.
but technically
Because it was the
49, yeah,
first
but, like,
Tuesday in August
we
that
did
we launched.
release like the Thunderbolts episode like on a live stream, so
49
49 will technically be-
49 will technically.
So we're 9 episodes away from a year.
I guess so. August. The first Tuesday in August is a year.
Oh, but that's tough. Okay, interesting, because I might not be like in the city for that. So interesting enough, maybe we have to pre-record episode. I was gonna say episode 100. What the hell? 1 year episode. Very interesting. Maybe we'll come up with something special.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you have any ideas or anything you'd like to see. Accountant 2 released April 25th, 2025, with a budget of $80 million. Shorter than I would have expected. Makes me happy though, because honestly, let's just make lower budget movies. That's not a low budget by any means, but like
Lower compared to $300 million.
if we can get away from the 300 million whatever, I think that's better overall because like think about it, like they can maybe
Well,
make
and I
ticket
think-
prices go down.
I
a
think
little, right?
also when you look at it, like it just when you have an $80 million versus a $300 million,
Sure.
you have less people working on it, which means the people working on it are more intimately aware and familiar with the material, and I feel like it shows through in the final product.
It's more of an art project in a way because people are passionate and like there's something to be said about carpooling to set and stuff like that and
Yep.
and even just little things like that I feel like
Yeah.
make someone more connected. It's less of a paycheck
Mhm.
because I feel like when you work on a Marvel movie, it's like, sorry, I've never worked on a Marvel movie, but it's like, oh cool, I'm working for Disney now, right? Like this cappuccino's like on the house kind of thing. But then like you get into the lower budget and you're like, oh, you have to be a little bit more conscious of things and put more thought
Yeah.
into it. It's not like, oh, Daddy Feige is just gonna give us some more money, right? It's grossed 86.9 million so far, so it's made
That's
a little
good.
bit of money. 3 weeks in, I gotta say, it doesn't. There's rumors of a third one, and bringing back there was I never saw
Anna
the
Kendrick.
first Anna Kendrick, so she was in the first movie.
That was one of
Don't
the
know-
things that I missed. I was really hoping that they would continue that storyline, but at the same time, it kind of feels natural that they didn't, like for the character.
Yes, so I read
but-
on IMDb that they were like the filmmakers were like, it's just not necessary.
Yeah, and I
So-
totally see that. Like, I don't think it detracted from this movie. And if they had put it in, maybe it would have detracted. Who knows?
Sure. Again, I haven't seen the first one. I liked the story of the brothers. I thought
Yeah.
that was good for me.
Basically, Cole's notes of the first one.
Yeah.
He owns a little accounting firm, ZZZ Accounting, and there's the lady who plays the deputy in I can't remember her name now in this second one is just an
Mary Beth?
analyst. Yeah, she's just an analyst in the first one, and then Ray King, who is in the current deputy position, calls her into his office and he's like, "Hey, I want you to go after this guy," and he shows her a bunch of
J.K.
photos.
Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, and he shows her a bunch of photos like surveillance photos of Christian Wolf making deals with other people. Anyway, long story short, she kind of finds him, and there's this one company that they're kind of he's working for. It's like actually a legit gig instead of his normal hitman gigs, or not hitman, but normal. And that's where he meets Anna Kendrick's character, and then it turns out they've uncovered something that they shouldn't have, and now they're both in danger, and so they go on the run, and then his brother is the one trying to kill the guy, or trying to protect the guy that he's trying to kill, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, at the end, him and his brother, they meet up, or they're like, they have this big final battle or whatever, and then they're like, okay, we'll get together next week or whatever, and he leaves Anna Kendrick's character because he's like, I'm a weirdo and I don't know what to do, and in the end he sends her a painting that she had seen in his Airstream, again, like all tying that stuff back. So that's kind of the Cole's notes of the first one.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. Obviously it built off of the first one. Going to the theater, and I don't usually go to theaters without like the preliminary knowledge, but I honestly really enjoyed it, and I got everything that I needed to understand.
Yep.
Pretty much within the first 20, 30 minutes,
I haven't
right?
seen the
Like,
first one in 10 years.
Yeah.
So I remember some of it obviously, but I went home and watched the first one last night after
Yeah.
the movie. But
So it's for me, it's like obviously that entry knowledge would have been good, but like I had such a good time anyways that I wasn't really wishing I did otherwise.
Mhm.
And honestly, maybe someone else will feel the same. I don't think you need to see the
Maggie,
first one.
quit licking. You're gonna
It-
sneeze.
It definitely helps. Go watch a 4-minute recap or,
Yeah.
or read a little synopsis of the first one. But yeah, I had a great time without seeing the first one, and I feel like a lot of people will feel similarly.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you can and have the time, go get the preliminary knowledge, do your thing, make it happen, because obviously you want to understand as much as possible, right? And
Yeah. Especially understanding the backstory between Christian and his brother.
sure,
That's
yeah.
the biggest thing, and it works totally if you just come into it without having seen the first one.
Well, they explain they haven't seen each other for 8 years or whatever and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're not calling or anything like that. And John Bernthal gets a little bit emotional,
Yeah.
which is funny to watch. Like, it's a sad scene for sure, but it's like, it's funny to me seeing like the Punisher all of a sudden like
Yeah.
go crazy, right?
That's
Like,
one thing. John Bernthal always does a great job. Like,
Yeah, I should say,
he's a
actually.
really solid actor, and I think this movie is no different.
I'm watching Daredevil right now, and I'm only
Yeah.
like 3 episodes in, and John Bernthal has a good monologue. But like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's been good. Okay, I should say there's talks of a third one. So right now, I would say they haven't made enough money to justify a third one, but it sounds like they're planning it.
It's one of those things where I don't want to see it because I, to me there's not an easy setup at the end of this one, and it just feels like they're capital.
Look at the theater right now. What do we have? We have Thunderbolts, which is the 36th Marvel movie. Final Destination, what? Bloodlines or whatever. How many Final Destination movies are there?
Yeah.
We have this sequel. We have the How to Train Your Dragon remake in 2 weeks. Every movie in the theater right now is a remake and a sequel, and it's crazy. Like,
I knew that was gonna happen.
yeah,
And now you scared Maggie too.
it's just like, what are we doing,
Yeah.
guys? Now, this movie was
It's-
great.
It was fun, and I
But-
think it's good, but it's like people are having a hard. It's like almost like the entire industry has creative burnout.
What it is it's just it's become a gamble, right? Because less people go to the theater now because it's
Yep.
so expensive. So less people want to take the risk in terms of let's make something new and original, because they know if they make The Accountant 2, they know if they make the 36 Marvel movie that people are going to see it and it's printing money. They know that, okay, easy, boom. Do this for 2 years and we're going to make $100 million. That's a great investment. Everyone would do that. It's great. It's fantastic. But unfortunately, it's just like, why do we keep having remakes and sequels and whatever? And I'm sure the How to Train Your Dragon remake is going to be fantastic. I'm sure it's going to be great.
I'm also thinking of the Naked Gun remake coming in August. Again, it looks great. Liam Neeson looks fantastic in that, but it's still a
Yeah,
remake.
it's just
you
like,
know?
yeah, exactly. It's just like more and more and more. It's like you want to see something original and new. And that's not to say that there's not movies like that
No.
being made. Of course there is. It's just like when you go to the theater, I just feel like, oh man, it's kind of saturated right now. It's just all of this like blah. Like
Mhm.
it's just gross, man. And I just like, I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for it. I play right into it. I still go see all the movies. I
Mhm.
still like watching the Marvel movies. I liked this one. And maybe I'm a hypocrite, but like I'm not the one paying for it.
Yeah.
I'm paying for it at the theater, sure, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the one making
Yeah.
it. I'm just going to see it, right? And so it's
Yeah.
just like, I want to be in a position, ideally, where like you can make something you and creative and stuff. And it's just unfortunate that it's harder and harder nowadays to do that because no one wants to pay for something. Like, no one wants to pay for that risk, right? And anyone who goes and makes a Marvel movie knows there's no risk. It's just literally like you're gonna make money off of it, right?
Mhm.
So, whatever. For cast, we got Ben Affleck, John Bernthal, and Cynthia Adai Robinson. Obviously, Christian Braxton, Mary Beth, and it was
J.K.
directed
Simmons has a small part too.
J.K. Simmons, a very small
Very small part.
part, and directed by Gavin O'Connor, Warrior, right? Also
And the
a
first
good
one.
movie, and the first one, sure. um, I guess we could do a synopsis.
Yeah, let's do a quick
Yeah, let's do a
synopsis.
synopsis. Good old remakes. And again, I'm
Whoever has that loud vehicle out there, if that comes through on the recording,
I see I'm such a hypocrite too because I'm like going to see Final Destination tomorrow, right? And we're gonna go see Indiana Jones at the Roxy on the day this comes out.
yeah. Speaking of which, if you're seeing this in the morning, this evening, we've got Raiders of the Lost Ark at Coliseum. We haven't showed at Coliseum enough lately. They've got some great movies coming up. We got Indiana Jones, Mamma Mia, Field of Dreams, Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
They've got a whole bunch of great stuff coming up. So go check them out. ColiseumPresents.ca.
How do you feel about re-releases? Because
It's a money grab. But
sure,
if I like the movie enough, then I don't care.
I have no problem doing re-releases because it's like, how do I explain it? It's like it's an opportunity to see a film you haven't seen yet in the theater for maybe even a cheaper rate. So I'm actually really like I'm fine with re-releases, but I'm not fine. But I like sequels less and remakes less compared to re-releases. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because like you're not getting a shittier version of something when they re-release something in the theaters because you're just going to see that thing, and it's
Also, I don't-
enjoyable.
I mean, also, they can make a hell of a lot more on a re-release because they don't have to reshoot the whole movie.
That is true, but I feel like less people see re-releases.
That's true,
right?
but still, every ticket you sell is not being compared against the cost of making it.
Sure, yeah, that's a good point. I feel like too, like whatever. We've talked about it so much,
Yeah.
whatever. But I do like going to the Roxy and the Broadway Theater to see re-release movies and stuff and older movies because it's like I never saw Indiana Jones in the theater, so it's a
Yeah.
great way to actually
Yeah.
see that movie for the first time or get a refresher. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to have that opportunity. Thank you to Coliseum Presents for putting on such amazing classic films, and we'll see you guys at the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll read a synopsis here.
Yes.
Forensic accountant Christian Wolf teams up with his estranged but highly lethal brother to track down mysterious assassins. That's a really short synopsis. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Uh, so this takes place 8 years after the first one. It came out 9 years after. Fun fact. And we see Christian. We know he has autism. It's autism, right?
Yeah, that's one thing they specify in the first movie is that it's autism.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's autistic and he's kind of particular, organized, straight to the point, no
Sees a lot of
No
patterns.
BS.
That's one of his big things, is pattern recognition.
yeah, which is a little bit helpful for an accountant or
Yes.
forensic kind of person and 'cause people act off of patterns typically or follow a set kind of like whatever. So I'm trying to actually remember how the movie even starts because we see like the neuroscience division, and I guess I'll explain.
Harbor neuroscience or neuro something. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we learn that there's like a bunch of kids, like a secret like network of kids with unique abilities that are like basically his eyes in the sky, the
Guy
dudes
in
in
the
the
chair.
chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically these are they all autistic or are they just like
They're all, I guess you'd say neurodivergent.
sure.
Like I don't think it's necessarily all autism, but they all have some sort of something that makes them different, or doesn't necessarily make them fit in. Unique abilities.
Right, yeah, and so it's not seen as something that hinders them. It's seen as like they use this
Yeah.
as part of their skill set.
He's given them
as-
an opportunity to put their abilities to use.
right because they work really quickly and they're good at a lot of the stuff
Yes.
that is required. So they kind of like work with him, trying to like tap into networks and IPs and stuff like that.
Get
and,
camera feeds, pull reports, track people.
yeah, exactly. And so they're all really like highly intelligent people who are doing this, and they're all kids.
Yes.
Very interesting, right? And so those are kind of his plot device. That's that's basically like how he gets out of most of his situations now.
Yeah.
Like, so we'll explain that. Hi, Maggie.
What do you want? You want to go outside? Well, you can't, because then you're gonna run away.
Come here.
Because you ran away, so we can't let you outside by yourself anymore.
Come.
I know you don't like that.
Come.
I know.
Come.
Come here.
Come.
Arr. Arr.
You want to come here? You want to come here?
What? Come here, Maggie. Come here.
Okay. So the movie starts off. We see J.K. Simmons, obviously from the first movie. I don't know really his part, but it seems to me like he's like a contract broker and such.
So basically, in the first movie, he's the deputy something or other of the U.S. Treasury,
yeah,
and then at the and we find out that he has been kind of he gets tips from this British lady, same one in the second movie. He gets tips on, there's going to be a drug movement here, this sort of thing. And so he's busted a whole bunch of these cases. And then at the end of the movie, he's retiring in like 7 months or whatever. And so he kind of passes along that role at the Treasury to, what's her face? I keep forgetting her name.
Oh, Mary Beth?
Yes, Mary
Yeah.
Beth. And so then he's retired and he goes in to do PI work.
Okay, I see. Yeah, okay. So basically, he meets up with this lady and tries to give her a job. Basically, he's looking for a kid, essentially, like who is estranged
Or this
from his
family
parents.
yeah.
That's been kind of like estranged and put over the place and stuff like that. And so
They went missing.
right, and
Yes.
so she kind of is hesitant to take the job. She's not really sure like what this is supposed to be, and he's like super passionate about it, right?
Yeah.
And-
Interesting thing, because because he shows her the picture. Obviously, she's an assassin. She's like, I don't do kids. I don't kill kids.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not asking you to kill the kid. I want you to find them. She's like, well, that's not what I do.
So we also learned that she's also the mom in the photo.
But that we learn that at the end.
Well, like halfway through.
Yeah.
Like I'm just explaining
Yeah.
that she's the mom of this kid, and basically she doesn't know it yet, but like 'cause she had an accident or whatever, and
Mhm.
her memories have been kind of like rearranged and scattered, so she doesn't know that she's this kid's mom, and she
Yep.
looks completely different anyways.
Yep.
So she's there. There's a team of people after her trying to kill her. Basically, the same people that kind of separated this family and did whatever are after her to kill her and finish the job. Basically, J.K. Simmons thinks they're after him,
Mhm.
and they do end up killing him. And basically, he says like writes on his arm, he's like, find the accountant, because he knows like
Yep.
something's gonna happen.
That bathroom fight scene is great.
Yeah, exactly. It is really good, isn't it? Yeah. And so obviously J.K. Simmons is killed, and then Mary Beth comes in and sees him, and she's like, yeah, that's my old boss. She sees the writing on his arm that says find the accountant, and so basically she knows that she has to go look out for Christian Wolf.
Maggie. Fine.
Do you want to come here at least so that they can see you?
You want to come on camera?
Come.
Or are you being camera shy?
Come.
She's giving us the silent treatment now. She's like, I'm not talking to you.
She knows she's about to go in the room. Good girl. Go lay down. Okay, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down.
She's like, you want me to
Go
what?
lay down. Oh, you're such a good girl, but you have to go lay down. I think she hears the dogs
She
outside.
does, yeah.
Aw, what a cute girl.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay? You're fine.
You're
Okay.
such a good girl. Can you come here? You want to come here? Okay.
And his nephew got there. We should.
Yeah. Let's say, do we need a 5-minute bathroom break?
Let's just keep
You're
going
making
for
us lose our momentum, Maggie.
Not being a very good studio dog right now.
Good
Okay.
girl. Good
Lay
girl.
down. Lay down. Lay down.
Yeah, can you sit in my... You're so adorable, but... Here, come here. We'll play with you after. Come.
Sure. There you go. There you go.
Good girl.
There you go.
Good girl.
There we go.
There we go. Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. So...
Okay.
So we finally see Christian Wolf. He's hanging out in his trailer. I mostly thought it was a private jet at first,
Yeah.
like just not seeing the first one, and
Yeah.
then it cuts out and it's just a trailer, and I thought that was funny.
Yep.
He's getting ready for a date, essentially, or date.
Speed dating.
Yeah, and so he goes to the speed dating thing, and
I also have to point out, like with the assistant, where he's like asking for a whole bunch of advice, and then at the very end, just as he's putting his jacket on, and don't wear your black suit.
yeah,
It makes
yeah.
you look like a mortician.
Yeah. So he goes to the dating thing, and all the women basically line up to meet him and talk to him because he's like,
Because he hacked the algorithm.
yeah,
or
and he's
whatever.
Ben Affleck, too,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
all the girls start talking to him, but then they realize like he's a little different. He's like instead of like pretending to like them, he like just calls them out on stuff
Yes.
and like argues with
Yeah,
them.
it gives
and-
them tax advice.
yeah,
And, yes.
yeah, exactly. Gives
Yes.
all of them one like tax advice on their 401k.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And it's just a montage of him saying the same line over and over again to different women.
Yeah, and basically, like the event organizers are like, "How did you get every single woman to like talk to you?" And he basically explains like, "Hey, like all I did was just think of like all the best photos women like, and put them into my
Profile and all the
stuff." Yeah.
keywords that get matches across dating sites, and then
Yeah.
I just reversed your algorithm or whatever, and yeah,
yeah,
it's great.
But then obviously no one goes with him because he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's no BS there or anything
Yeah.
like that. There's no sugarcoating, right?
Yeah.
And so he's a little bit sad because he's
Mhm.
lonely. Then we see Mary Beth. She's going to J.K. Simmons' house and kind of sees his wall of all the photos are taken down, but eventually she rearranges it to like his wall of evidence because he's been
Yeah.
following this case and trying to figure out like what is going on, right? So Mary Beth is trying to find this family and continue on this mission as well because she doesn't know really that he's looking for this family, but she knows it's kind of the centerpiece of the whole thing. So she's obviously being led to believe that something is important here. She just doesn't know what it is quite yet, right? And so she's starting to piece together this thing while trying to find Ben Affleck, and eventually Ben Affleck just finds her, and he's like, what does he say?
Well, because
Pretty much
he phones or she phones that harbor thing,
Yeah.
and she phones like, and she's like, I know she's always listening. I know she can hear me. And she's like, I need the accountant or whatever. So then he shows up, finds her, shows up, and how does that go now?
Well, it's the same parking garage that caused the accident of the lady.
Yes.
That they're looking
Right,
for. So
right.
they're in the same kind of boat there, and essentially she's like, okay, we need to find what's going on here, and I need your help because J.K. Simmons basically knew like, you'd be the person to come to ask for help. While this is going on, we see some John Bernthal shots, obviously Christian's brother, and he's kind of pacing around his hotel room. He's
Great
trying to
scene.
figure out. He's going to ask a girl out, is what we assume, right? She's trying to figure out how to say it and ask and talk.
Yeah.
And it's like a 3-minute scene of him trying to basically build up the courage to make this phone call. And he makes the call, and you realize he's actually just trying to get a dog 2 weeks early from when like, the breeder is ready for him.
Yeah.
And it's a really funny scene. And basically, Braxton is going to go to Christian at some point. We see another fun scene with him of like he's talking to a lady, looks like he's on a date, and
she's very nervous.
Yeah, she won't talk to him and do anything, and then she's like asks him not to hurt him, and he's like, "What? Why would I hurt you? What have I done to give you any indication that I would hurt you?"
Yeah.
Right.
And
she's like all scared.
Yeah, and then he gets a phone call from Christian.
Yeah,
he's
calling
like,
him.
Yeah, and he's like, I need your help. He's like, well, that's fucking great. 8 years and I don't fucking hear from you. Now you need my help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the lady's freaking out, and Brax is like, "I'm offended that you'd even think I'd hurt you, right?" And then he walks out of the room with his ice cream, and it shows like 13 dead people all around him that he killed.
yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so ridiculous. And essentially, Christian's looking for the family in the photo. The bad guys are still kind of after the family,
our
though.
camera's resetting. We're blurry.
So through more scenes with the bad guys, we find out that in terms of the boy's family, the father's been killed. We don't know necessarily where the boy is, but we're kind of led to believe, based on a photo, that he's in like a prison almost, or what they think would be a school at first, but it's actually a prison. And the mom is like totally misplaced, right? So the mom is, who we see at the start of the movie, she's actually tasked down to kill a Mary Beth, essentially, because she's getting too close to figuring out the pie or whatever. And John Bernthal is tasked to kill. Is he also tasked to kill Mary Beth? Is that?
Well, he is, but so he goes to help Christian.
Yeah.
And then he gets the text that's his potential target.
Yeah.
To stand by for further instructions. And then he says, and then he gets another text later
that it's gone to someone else.
Contracts assigned, stand down.
Yeah.
And so it was sort of that. I thought that was an interesting moment. Like, oh shit, now what are we gonna do? And then like, oh, it's okay, you know.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see John Bernthal like try and figure out if he's gonna like betray or do something like that, but he doesn't, obviously. So basically, Mary Beth is kind of getting closer to figuring out the pie. We know, like, through some scenes that uh, Ben Affleck has looked through some of the bank accounts of the bad guys and know that they're laundering money and which ones are fake and stuff
Yep.
like that, and where's this money going to. And John Bernthal and Ben Affleck or Chris and Brax meet up together, and basically they're going to try and find the person who's giving all these contract brokers anyways. And so they hire a bunch of prostitutes who basically give them information and leave, and they don't do anything with the prostitutes. They're just
Yep.
informants, right? And then the guy comes, the broker, and they basically beat him up, and then they leave.
Yeah.
And the lady, the woman, is her name Edith? Is that? I forget what her name is.
Something like that.
She basically goes to kill Mary Beth, and she almost does it, but then she realizes, oh wait, she's actually the woman in the photo. Like, she kind of sees it on the wall and realizes, like, by looking at it, right? And so Christian comes in, he lets her leave because he also kind of realizes, like, oh wait, this is that woman as well. Like, everyone kind of realizes it at this second,
Yep.
right? So the lady leaves, they like resuscitate and save basically Mary Beth, and they head on their merry way. Chris and Brax basically are like, okay, well, now we got to go free these kids because something's going to be happening to them. They find out at like the neurodivergent center or neurology center or
Yeah.
whatever it's called, that basically, oh, these kids are about to be executed essentially because
They're cleaning up the trail, evidence trail.
exactly, because they know that the people are after them, right? So basically, Chris and Brax go after them. They fight a bunch of dudes. They save the kids from being executed, which is really dark.
Yeah,
Like-
I that was one thing about this whole movie is the whole movie's a relatively like dark and gritty movie. Like for a comedy, it's
Yeah, for being so funny, the ending scene is they put all the kids in a big hole in the ground,
yeah.
and they're about to shoot them all, and then they basically come. Like, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty intense, right?
I'll be honest though, I feel like it's almost a bit of a plot hole in a way,
It is a hole.
because like, just shoot him on the bus, drive the bus into a river.
It's cleanup though.
Yeah.
It's cleanup. It's basically like it's a lot easier to get someone someplace while they're walking
True.
because then you don't have to carry them.
It's true.
And then also it's like, well, now you have a spot to bury them.
True.
So like, and it's a nice school bus. You don't want to lower the resale value.
Oh boy.
um. Yeah. So basically, they're taking all the kids, but obviously the kids are safe. Nothing happens to them. Again, super dark. Like, oh my gosh, like crazy. And Chris and Brax come, and they're like, "Hey, don't worry, you're gonna be safe right now. Everything's fine." And so the kids, with natural survival instincts, like, okay, well, these two
more armed
dudes,
men, yeah.
these two dudes just killed everyone I've known for the last 8 years, so might as well join them.
Yeah, right.
yeah. So obviously they drive the kids to safety. We know that the mom of the kid knows that it's her kid,
She's starting to regain some memories.
but she's still a different person completely. So she doesn't really care at the end of the day. She's just trying to get revenge on the people who destroyed her family, because now she's just like can never go back to that.
Yeah.
So she kills like the broker, whoever, like the dude who's been signing out these contracts and stuff like that, and the guy who like basically like turned her into an assassin after her accident and all that stuff. And yeah, essentially,
You forgot one more very important thing.
Yeah.
As they're driving back on the bus. And earlier in the movie, Chris, when John Bernthal's character, when Braxton told Chris that he was going to get a dog, Chris is like, asking a bunch of questions like, are you gone for extended periods? And do you have somebody to look after your dog? Are you moving around a lot? And then he's like, I think you're more of a cat guy.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm not a cat. Anyway, at the end, he hears something, stopped the bus. There was a cat hiding in the engine. And so now he has a cat. And then there's the very ending scene where they're driving the kid back to the harbor neuroscience place, and the kid's hogging the cat. It's
yeah.
so funny.
It's like, yeah, he's like, how can this kid figure out how to do math like
yeah.
equations like insanely fast, but he can't figure out when to hand me back the cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Bernthal is just such a star in this, man. Like,
Yeah.
he's so good. And even, I was even saying to my parents last night, I don't think Ben Affleck isn't like a good actor or anything. It's just like, I feel like I haven't seen a lot of Ben Affleck's movies where I've been like super duper memorable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
I
and
think
not in a negative way. Just like,
I think that between the first movie and this movie, I think he nails the character, like playing.
I thought he did a
obviously
great job.
Doesn't have autism, and he plays a character with a pretty high functioning form of high functioning form of autism really well. Like just the mannerisms and the facial expressions and like almost like the little bit of OCD with certain things,
Has to have the same breakfast kind of thing.
Yes,
yeah,
and it's also again same breakfast as in the first movie. And,
I did see that. Yeah,
and like
yeah.
the three, the one
The
piece of
3
cutlery,
eggs, yeah.
and like the one piece of cutlery, like for each type, and the single plate and everything, it's all the exact same.
Yeah, so
and like the little hand thing,
I
same
saw
thing
that
as in
in
the
the
first movie.
synopsis.
Yeah.
The synopsis I read, there was a photo of the breakfast, so I thought it was funny when I saw that
Yeah.
in theaters. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that is.
And I just,
yeah.
I mean, it's less of like a in your face performance. It's a lot more subtle than John Bernthal's, but I still think he really nails it.
Yeah, it's not as over the top as like some of them might be. And so here's the thing. This is an endless debate. Obviously, you and I You and I don't have like any like disabilities like that or don't have autism. So it's hard to comment on how realistic it is. Now, obviously they did do research and talked with neurodivergent people and some people who experience that and for their performances, right? Like Gavin O'Connor did that with Ben Affleck as a way to make it more realistic. So there's always debates of like when you watch certain shows like The Good Doctor, where some people are like, that was an incredible performance. I've never seen something so realistic and like kind of like me in a way. And there's some people who are like, that's not what having autism is like at all, right? So it affects people so differently.
Well, that's
right?
the thing with autism. Autism is such a or any neurodivergence condition or whatever you want to call it, like that, they're so varied in what I mean. Some people who have autism are geniuses with no social skills, and then other people are completely different. Like it
doesn't even fit into a stereotype
right.
or anything like
yeah,
that. Because
and so I don't think that you can just say that's unrealistic, because
Sure.
I guarantee you there's somebody with a similar similar character to that
And so
in the world.
that's all of these shows. I feel like I read comments all the time of people being like, this is actually like seems like my exact experience. I mean, I'm sure not a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, Ben Affleck's character and the
Yeah,
accountant too.
yeah.
That's me, right?
Yeah.
No, it's just like some people say it's great, other people's don't, and it goes by case basis. But isn't that what like the spectrum is? It affects
It's a spectrum.
It affects everyone completely differently because
Yeah.
we're all unique as a
Yeah.
base level thing. So
Yeah.
obviously our challenges are different.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like for me, it worked for me.
Yeah.
I can't comment on realism because I don't have autism.
Yeah.
But his performance worked for me and I enjoyed it and I thought it
Yeah.
was great. I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was
That's the other thing. Like a lot of people are freaking out about the autism comedy and saying it's not funny at all. I'm like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's,
'cause I
it's
feel
not
like
making fun of
It's
people
not
with
making fun
autism.
of people with autism at all.
If anything, to me it feels more empowering because you're watching a guy who often people look at as something that would be like a struggle or a disability or something, and he's an epic, awesome action hero who's solving crime cases and stuff like that and committing crimes and
Got to break some eggs to make an omelet.
and saving kids and stuff like that, and he's borderline a superhero.
Well, and also,
right? So
it's like for me, it's like you can't make fun of or if you can't make fun of like I don't know. It's just one of those things where like comedy is making fun of things.
Sure.
And even if you're not exactly making fun of it in this case, I mean, I can see where people might think you are a little bit. making fun of some of the struggles that somebody might have. But at the same time, it's like that's comedy.
Well, I think it's not making fun of autism or anything
No.
intellectual disabilities or abilities.
No.
It's not making fun of any of that. It's making fun of Ben Affleck's character in the world, and not like, oh, ha ha, he's autistic, this is funny. It's more of like, oh, that's funny, he just said that to someone, and now look at their reaction, because
Yeah.
they're like, why would you say that to me, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not making fun of autism. It's set in that just kind of world. It's used
Yeah.
as like a grounds, and so it's very tasteful. It's not like, oh, this guy's is like a little like weird. It's so like,
Yeah.
haha. No, it's just like he's beating someone up, and he's like, what hotel are you staying in?
Yeah.
What hotel are you staying in?
And it's the same thing in the first movie.
Right.
The first movie, he's out shooting at a farm, and these guys come to kill him, and he's like strangling him, and it's the same thing. Who are you working for? Or, when I say the name of the employer, you say yes, or let's practice. Yeah, yes. Of course he's choking, and then it's the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely don't think it's making fun of anyone with disabilities or anything like that. It's very tasteful, and I feel like if you're offended, I mean, like,
you can't please everybody with a joke, right?
Look,
if you make comedy that's gonna be funny to everyone, you're not making comedy.
well, it's it's tasteful. Like, it's tasteful. Like, I feel like unless you have autism, like in a way where it's offensive to you because that's not how you want to be portrayed, then it's like those are the only people that I'd say like really have any say, right?
Don't get it's the getting offended on someone else's behalf when they're not offended at all by it.
Right, exactly. And it's super tasteful. None of it is a joke of like, oh, he has autism, it's funny. It's more of like, oh, he's in this situation and he's saying things to people and it's awkward, which is funny, right? Not like, not ha ha, he's ridiculous. It's like, oh, that was funny,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not putting a joke on anyone. It's super funny. It's super tasteful. So if you're looking for something that's funny, I was gonna say lighthearted. It's still a very dark movie with dark comedy, but like it's very good and the jokes are pretty tasteful. Like it's not really making a joke on anything that's negative in any way. So like you'll have fun, you'll enjoy it. And obviously I can't comment on how real I think like the autism is or anything, but like it worked for me, right? Like I wasn't thinking like, oh, that's unrealistic, because A, who am I to say, and B, it's like it worked.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I have some facts here.
Yeah, let's hear 'em.
Gotta pull up my big. This notebook's getting full. Okay, so I actually don't have many. Okay, so John Bernthal goes on this rant where basically he's talking about the Wizard of Oz, and he's saying Terry the dog got paid more than like the little people did in the movie, more than double, right? And
It's such a funny rant.
he's going on a rant about how it's like unjust and stuff like that, and how all these people must have been looking at like the dog being like, F that guy, he's making double what we are, and he doesn't have to sing or dance or anything. It goes on like super passionate rant, right? This is a true fact.
Yeah.
Terry the dog in Wizard of Oz did get paid more than double what all the little people who did, like everyone with dwarfism who did like the song and dance and stuff like
Munchkins
that
and
had to do. And so
That's so
very
funny.
interesting. And it is kind of seems a little unjust, because it's like really, like,
Yeah.
that
But
seems odd.
Terry Toto was the star of the movie,
Sure, but like
Your stars get
He
paid
didn't-
more. But I know what you mean.
He didn't do no
I know
song
what
and
you mean.
dance, right?
Well, but he
So-
did have to be trained,
Yeah,
When-
yeah,
when-
but it goes to the owner anyways.
True. When Fireside did Wizard of Oz,
Uh-huh.
we put it on at TCU. This was like 12 years ago now.
Oh wow.
I was 8, 9.
Whoa.
So of course I was a Munchkin, among other things. But
Yeah.
we had most stage musicals that use a stuffy, like a teddy bear Toto.
For Toto, yeah.
We used a real dog. We had a little.
Alright.
We had. Her name was Gemma. That was her name. And I can tell you, working with real dogs in a live setting like that, like not even in a film setting, but in like a live stage production, like the show must go on. You can't. It's difficult. The amount of training that dog had to do it to be able to do that, and like the dog was already trained, for a lot of things, but just adapting the training to be in the.
Let alone an audience, man.
Well, you can't see the
That's-
audience. I mean, 2,000 people, but you can't see it.
Yeah, but like even like hot lights on the dog blinding it, you know what I mean?
But anyway, so the amount of training that goes into it, and like you say, it is going to the owner. It's not going to the dog; it's going to the owner. And
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
work, and so like I'm not saying it's fair because I do think the humans should get paid more, but like,
Sure.
that's a lot of work, and it's a very specialized thing.
It's It's funny because we say like all the money is going to the like we're paying the dog, but it's like stop saying that. You're paying the owner
paying
of
the
the
owner.
dog, okay?
Yeah,
Obviously Toto's a star, and it's a lot of training, a lot of work. I see those dog acts all the time. I'm like, I can barely get my dog to sit sometimes. I just like it is a headache and a half to get him to shake a paw, right? And Holly, my little dog, I can snap my fingers and she'll sit, and if I snap twice, she'll lay down. Because I said to my parents, I said, one day she's going to be blind or deaf. Maybe she's both, but at that point we have some things to consider. But
yeah, right.
but if she's blind, when I snap my fingers, she'll know to sit.
Yeah,
If she's deaf, I can do this
Yeah, you can
without
do the motion.
without even making a sound, and she'll still sit and lay down. So I'm like, when she's old, it's going to be super helpful. I can't even get Finnegan. Like Finnegan's way too hyper to like shake a paw unless I have a treat in my hand. That's how much of an asshole he is. Like Holly will do anything no matter what, right? Finnegan, he completely forgets. He stonewalls me. If I tell him to sit and then shake a paw, he won't do it. But if I have a treat in my hand, all of a sudden, oh, he knows how to do it. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you
He's
kidding
training
me?
you.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, right?
I don't know. Dogs are funny. Like I mean, like my girlfriend has a shepherd mastiff cross. He's kind of an asshole sometimes.
Is he
He's-
big?
He's like 9 years old. He's like maybe a little smaller than Maggie. Like
Yeah.
But and he's honestly he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like the number, like if we're hanging out or whatever, and like Brooklyn gets up, and then he will immediately come and take her spot beside me, and just lay with me instead. Like it's so funny, it's so funny.
That's good.
But yeah, he's kind of an asshole, but he refuses to listen to anything.
Yeah, it's an interesting dilemma because obviously, yeah, you have the star that's been through the whole movie, but then you also have people who are doing rigorous amounts of training, doing song and dance
Yep.
and stuff, and rehearsal, and they're getting paid less than the dogs. So I think no matter what, it's funny, and obviously, life, right? Like, I mean, if you accept a job and you're getting paid to do it, right?
Yep.
Then I mean, you're the one doing the job. You don't need anyone else to fight for your payment because,
Unless you're unionized.
right? Well, yeah, because like you're doing it, right. Like I'm sure a lot of them would have just quit if they felt like.
If they felt it was unjust, yeah.
Maybe that's not fair because obviously sometimes you can't say no because it's
Yeah.
like you need the opportunity and you need the bit of money.
Yeah.
But I whatever. This is something that happened. It's not my business.
Like 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's not my business anyways, right? But I do like the thought that they were like super angry and they're planning on like killing the dog at some point because they were just.
Now they could make a movie about them making a Wizard of Oz.
Could you imagine? You just like you look at Ronald in the corner and he's holding Toto and he's like.
It'd be so funny if they did like an actual movie on that, but they still paid the dogs more than.
dude, it's a horror movie, right? And it's Terry the dog running away from like 70 little people with knives. And
So Snow White.
dude, they're trying to find him. That's insane, man. Oh, I think should they have been paid more? Probably. I think $50 a day though,
Especially in like
in
what was
1940?
40? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
30s or 40s, something like that, right?
I think it came out in like 40. Was it? It wasn't during World War One.
Let me see.
I got it.
Oh,
I got it.
43 is my guess. Oh no, but then that's wartime.
Yeah, that's my thing. I don't-
43 to 48.
39.
I was completely wrong.
39.
I
Yeah.
was completely wrong.
right before the war. So yeah, I mean, at 39, that's good because your minimum wage is still in the cents at that point. So that's actually really good money for the time.
It is, yeah. But then, like, I want to know how much the dog is making more than double, right? So at least $100. Like, what, a day? Oh. Or throw it. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that's a lot. Obviously though, lots of training, lots of prep on both sides though. Both sides need to be doing a lot of that stuff, and maybe they justified it as like, well, there's 30 background dancers and one dog, right? So we have to focus on the dog. But very interesting, and
Yeah.
I hope all the people who took part in that were at least happy at the end of the day and didn't have any ill wills towards Terry, because I just love the thought that there's there's a whole union of people ready to kill that dog by the end of the day. He's getting paid how much? Just like bunt. Oh man, that's so
Oh, boy.
dark. Okay, back to this movie. I hadn't seen the first one. I haven't laughed that hard in a movie in a very, very long time.
It was really funny.
I wasn't even sure at first. I wanted to see because I like heard decent things. It opened up to, and I was like, oh, interesting. We're opening up in some kind of like gambling section or stuff like that because like whatever. But then we realized it's old people playing bingo, right? And I was like, oh, that's funny too. And I just like, I wasn't even sold. During the first scene, I wasn't even sold. But then the dating scene happened, and I knew I was in for a fun ride, man. Like, it is a funny movie, and there's lots of dark themes and stuff like that. There's some very sad moments, but it is an enjoyable watch, and I would happily see it again. It was very well done.
Yeah, I was glad that I paid for those tickets. Like it was
a great time. Okay. This photo is a big centerpiece of the movie. This lady looking for her family. She doesn't know it yet. Basically, she goes and gets revenge because she's in her accident. She loses her memory. She has no idea. But her family was all torn apart, right? Separated and misplaced because of this person. She goes, when she regains enough of her memory to realize that this guy tore apart her family, she goes and kills him to get revenge.
Well, we assume so.
Yes. Well, she does. She does.
It never actually shows that he did kill him. That's at the end.
Well, she goes to his place and
but we never
and
actually.
She grabs a knife.
Yeah, but like that could be the plot of the third one, as he got away.
She kills him.
I mean, yes, she kills him, but like
she kills him. No, she killed him.
Okay.
She killed him.
Okay.
Well, we should call your dad right now and ask.
Hi, you're on the viewing room.
I see.
Hey, Mr. Brookman.
Hey, how's it going, Ethan?
Good. How are you?
All right.
You can ask.
Oh, what are we asking? I forgot.
Okay. At the end of the movie last night, we need your excellent opinion.
My excellent opinion.
Yeah. There's probably better ways to
I thought
phrase
it was
that.
a lot of fun. I thought it was great.
We're good, right?
I thought they developed the brothers' relationship more, and there's a bit of comedy in there. I thought that was a lot of fun, and it was a good movie.
It was a lot of fun. When at the end of the movie, when the lady goes after like the person who tore apart her family, does she kill him?
Well, I'm assuming so.
Do you think there's room that there's going to be a sequel where he gets away?
Doubtful. I'm certainly not ruling out a sequel, although you know what, if it was me, I would stop at these two movies, but I don't think of the dollars with these movies, which is what, Hollywood does. I would stop there. If there was a sequel, I don't think they would base it on that. I think it would be a different plot. I mean, this is a separate plot from the first movie.
I could see Christian getting married. I could see something like that.
Bring back Anna Kendrick and get him married. That could be good.
Yeah. So there's talks. I don't know how true it is. I just was reading some articles this morning, and it seems like there was talks about bringing Anna Kendrick back for the third movie, And that's what I read, and I was like, whoa, are they actually planning a third movie? So I don't know yet. It hasn't made enough money, in my opinion, to justify it, but who knows?
You know, if they did that and brought it full circle and maybe made her kind of the love interest, they teased that in the first movie, but he's just not built that way, his character. But in this second movie, they seem to be, you know, kind of nudging him towards that, little things, like he was becoming more empathetic and, you know, trying to as well. So maybe that would be fun. Maybe that would be, you know, a good idea to bring her back and kind of, you know, explore that again.
Yeah, I agree. And I haven't even seen the first one, and so I better get on that.
You got to watch the first
I
one.
better get on that.
All right.
You need to watch the first one. You'll have fun with it.
Okay. Thanks, Dad.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a legend. Love that man. Sat next to him at the theater last night. He's just a fun person to watch
He is.
movies with.
Yeah,
Your
he's
dad has a very awesome laugh.
Yes, he does.
So, doesn't look like it. But if they do make a third one, very interesting. Who would be the bad guy, though?
Who would be the bad guy?
The IRS.
I could see them I could see them going in a way where it's like something happens to Anna Kendrick, and he just like he happens to be doing some other job, and he just, you know, happens to be in the area, or she somehow manages to contact him. You know what I mean? Like she stumbles into another mess, because in the first one she's working for this big robotics firm, and she discovers a leak in the accounting. She thinks there's $15 million missing.
Whoa.
And so they bring in Ben Affleck's character. This is why it's a legit job, to discover, like, to go through all the records. So he goes through 15 years of records overnight and finds, it's a great scene actually, finds where the money is being basically cycled through another company, because they're going to take it public. And so they're invoicing money, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, they're going to make a whole bunch of money off of it.
Sure.
But she discovers it, and then he confirms it. And so that's why they're both in danger. And so I could see her now being a completely different company or something, and she discovers something again. Like, you know, that's her character's flaw. She notices those kinds of things. That's kind of maybe why they got along a little bit. And it's kind of like a similar to the first movie, like they're after him, but instead of,
Sure.
but like, I don't know how you'd make it different from the first movie, but I could see something like that. Like that's how you tie her back in. But
Interesting.
yeah.
I actually am looking forward to seeing the first one. So this is my kind of main complaint. Obviously, the lady goes for revenge. She kills the person who tore up her family. But she rips the photo in front of him, and this photo has like been like her only reminder of like her old self and stuff like that. And she looks at him and she rips the photo. Okay, some symbolism. He literally tore her family apart and ruined her life. She just tore her family apart in front of him. But come on. It's the one photo that she has that like reminds her a little bit of her past self. I mean,
Yeah.
you could argue maybe she doesn't want to know.
I was just
but
gonna
it's
say,
not her.
her character is such an odd one and we don't really know what she's thinking. We really honestly have no idea, because she says like 2 words in the whole movie.
I know that's a little weak. That part's just a little weak to me.
Yeah.
Because she tears up the photo and then she kills him, and it's like, okay, yeah, she tore apart her family. He tore apart her family. She knows she can't go back because she's like not the mom anymore. But then it's like, why is she even extracting revenge on this dude? Because if her family's torn apart and she's not that old person anymore, then why does she care? She's no longer that mom anymore. She's a completely different person. So what reason does she have for revenge?
Maybe it's her trying. That's her way of trying. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's one where I don't really.
But she doesn't try.
Well, that's, yeah. I don't know.
She even says to Christian or whoever, she says to someone like, "Oh no, that's not me anymore." She's just like, "That's not me." So it's like, oh, interesting. Like, it's not you, but you still want to get revenge. Like, as far as she's concerned, she doesn't even know that lady. She doesn't know. Then she realizes it's her, but she has no memory other than the whistle of the guy who like destroyed her life. So she goes and like kills him.
That is a great scene We've heard the whistling, the do 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 do, Pop Goes the Weasel. We've heard that whistling a couple times, and then he gets out of the shower and he's singing it, and he's do 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 do, and then we hear off in the distance boop 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 boop, and like it's like what's gonna happen. I just love it. It's like something out of a horror movie, but like that's where it's a little darker and grittier, What? Is there a problem? Can I help you?
I guess the movie also ends with Brax and Chris driving away, and they're going to go on a hiking trip as well, like with each other, because they're going to be little brothers now.
What do you? What?
She's looking at her employee of the month. Okay.
It's okay. We're almost done. Okay?
Bro.
We're almost done. I think she's telling us we're done.
So I finally understand what the dancers on The Wizard of Oz felt. She's got an employee of the month 12 times. And I can't even get a word in.
When you earn more than her. Or when you make more, sorry. She's our biggest sales lady.
Are we done now?
I don't think we need to be done. Unless you want to be done.
No,
Was she done? No, she's definitely.
I loved the comedy. Again, I wasn't sold on her character. That actually felt like the weakest part of the movie to me.
Holy poop nuggets, can you stop?
But
Big stretch.
really, at the end of the day, I loved the comedy enough that it like kind of made up for those weaker parts, because it was like, oh, at least I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it.
It's an interesting thing too, because that comedy, it's the first movie is less of a comedy. It's a little more of a straight up action flick. So that's an interesting direction that they took it, but I really think it works, especially with Braxton playing more of a role.
Yeah, and John Bernthal plays it really well too, as like rugged and tough in a way. But then like he sells the moments as well of him being completely emotionally like charged, right? Where he's picking up cats and cuddling them and stuff like that, and getting the dog, right?
Yeah. Or the scene in the bar. That's a great scene where
For sure.
And that's another perfect example of Christian's character development when he decides he's going to go and do the dancing, and he does it, and it felt a little bit out of place almost, but at the same time I see why they did it. If they're trying to develop that character.
Yeah. It's incredible to me how the brothers are supposed to have very little chemistry, because they have some chemistry, right? But like they're estranged in a way, right? So like they're a little bit separated, but both Ben Affleck and John Bernthal have incredible chemistry on screen, that it's like they play it so good.
I think the difference there is that they were trained together. So throughout the first movie, we get flashbacks to their dad. So their mom leaves, and their dad, who's this old military dude, is trying to train them. So they are always doing martial arts training, and like there's one scene where Christian, he's maybe, I'm gonna say like 13, and he's being bullied at school, and so his dad makes him go fight the bullies all in a group, so, and he and his brother like went through that together, and so I think that's where they do have some chemistry, because they were trained together by their dad. So it's
I guess so. They have that chemistry and they play that really well. But like in terms of interests as adults, I feel like they're very different.
Yeah.
But they play it so well together, and they're like, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh hey, I haven't seen you in 8 years, and it's like, hi Braxton. It's just so funny.
He's like, hi Braxton. That's all I get. Not a fucking hey, great to see you, man. I missed you.
Yeah.
And actually, there's that one scene where they're on when they're on top of the Airstream, and he's like, the reason that you didn't miss me, is it you,
or is it me? Yeah. That's pretty.
And I really like that scene.
Yeah. It is. It's a very interesting scene.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mostly what I have. Again, I wasn't even sold at first, and then after that dating scene, I was like, oh yeah, love it. Like
Yeah.
it's good. And I mean, I guess the dating scene is like
It's pretty quick. Yeah.
6 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had a good time, and I would happily see it again.
Good.
And I can't wait to see the first one.
Rate it and get out.
Sure, let's do it. What do you rate it?
I hadn't thought about this at all. I hadn't even crossed my mind to rate it. 8.2.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm right now between like a 7.5 and an 8. I'll go 8 because here's the thing. Well, the movie itself is probably like a 7.5. I had such a good time in the theater last night, and that's all that matters, really.
Yep.
And I haven't laughed that hard in such a long time, so I'm gonna give it an 8. Like it's solid. I have problems with the lady and how they did that, but like it's a really fun dynamic. And there was talks about them developing even a TV show before the sequel came out. And it made me think like, yeah, I would have loved a TV show about the two brothers like doing
Oh,
adventures.
yeah, the
and
character
together, like,
development is such a central part of this movie in particular that I think having the opportunity to do that over the course of a TV show would be phenomenal.
I loved the dynamic at the end between Brax and Chris, like just
Yeah.
like with the cat scene and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was
even
I thought it was incredible.
in that last scene in the compound, like that last fight scene, last action scene. I mean, it was really well done. I really liked how kind of gritty it was.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a review of The Accountant 2. We will see you tonight at the Roxy for Indiana Jones. Have a good day.